if it were possible to restore the Arctic sea ice, if we had that science, then how could we govern that? What sort of international governance structure and what role might the European Union have in moving to use that kind of science and technology?
Well, that's a really interesting one, and one I haven't thought about, to be honest. But maybe I can partially answer that by talking about a real example that's happening now. I mean, obviously, we all hope, and I have read some fascinating accounts of projects to try and restore the sea ice. So hopefully, that's something that is on the cards. But to look at a real example, you're aware that a couple of years ago, the agreement on a moratorium on fisheries in the Central Arctic Ocean was agreed. And now that moratorium is in place, we are looking at at a governance structure for that, really, for a scientific governance structure. So there are discussions being held as to how the scientific community can work together internationally to come up with a plan for the future once the moratorium ends, should it end. So again, there are many questions about governance structures in the Arctic. The general impression I get from talking to people is that people are happy with the governance structures that we have now. We have the Arctic Council. I talked about the sort of regional cooperation that we have in the Barents Euro-Arctic Council and the Northern Dimension. And then there are more ad hoc forms of cooperation between researchers and scientists. Maybe that's something that could be handled in an ad hoc way. Maybe it's something that could be taken on board by one of the existing structures. Another issue that we're always asked about is, should there be a body for discussing Arctic security issues? And we say to ourselves, not really something for us to pronounce on, but the general view seems to be that's probably not a necessity at the moment. And there are informal ways that these things can be discussed. For example, the Munich Security Conference holds an Arctic roundtable every year. So that there are ways that governance, whether it be formal governance structures or informal governance structures, that can be put together in a way that brings the desired effect in the end. But again, it's something that we'd have to discuss when and if such a thing came along.